Hello everybody, it's Chibi, and today I want to be doing a manga chapter review of chapters 2 through 5 of Drifters. Now, yesterday I made my first impressions of chapter 1 of Drifters, and today I want to do my thoughts so far since I've read up to chapter 5, and I can probably tell you a better example of what this manga most likely is going to be about. So, anyways, holy hell, this is a good manga. I'm not gonna lie, I'm already on chapter 5, and I definitely love this manga. I'm actually going to read more Drifters as soon as I finish this review, because I really love this manga. It's a really good manga. Let me explain why. Okay, so remember how I said from the first chapter it seemed like our main character was dying and all that? Toyohisa, you saw he had arrows and wounds all over him, and all of a sudden he came to a big hallway, and you saw a dude at a desk. Well, in chapter 2, you find out that this dude in the desk, he's like, next, and all that, and he slings Toyohisa into this other door, and it takes him to another world. So right here, we have a little bit of Inuyasha type thing going on here. We're going to a different world, but what's interesting about this different world is, it has, like, elves. We are confronted with two elves, and these two elves, like, oh, he doesn't have the ears like us and all that, it must be a drifter. So there's where the title drop is. In chapter 2 of Drifters, the title drop is dropped, and we find out that these people, I'm guessing, that are close to death or about to die, get sent to this long hallway, and this dude at the desk sends them to different worlds, and then they're called drifters. So right here, we don't know the exact extent of what causes these certain few individuals to be sent to that hallway, and then sent to another world, but whatever it is, we find out in chapter 3 a couple of interesting things. Nobunaga and Nasu, key historical figures in history. In Asian culture, it was a really interesting thing getting to see Nobunaga. I mean, you would think, actually, of course, he would be in a Sengoku era type manga, but this series is looking more like a fantasy type series. The more I see it, it has, you know, historical elements. It does. But at the same time, it's adding in a twist with fantasy. We have elves. They've confirmed there is elves because in chapter 5 and 4, they pretty much, Nobunaga stated that those creatures with the weird ears are elves. So they're definitely in a different world. Now, Nobunaga is there, and supposedly he died. In the timeline they're in, he pretty much says he's only been in this different world for about 6 months. But to Toyohisa, the main male character, he said that he's been dead for more than like 15 or 18 years. I don't know the exact amount of time, but he said he's been dead for that long. And to Nobunaga, he feels like he's only been there for 6 months, and he never technically died. So right there, in the real world, they're dying. But in this, it looks like they're getting a second chance or a second life to be able to come back and do whatever they want. Because in the end of chapter 5, we find out that drifters, they have a passion. There's something unique about drifters. Drifters want to conquer countries. That's exactly what drifters are. And if we think about it, Nobunaga, he loved to conquer things. Nasu, I don't know much about Nasu's history and historical factors, so I don't know much about that person. Toyohisa, I really don't know much about him because I don't know much about historical facts of Japan. But I do know Nobunaga, and I know he wanted to conquer countries. So it's interesting getting to see these different factors and elements from historical features added in and implemented with, like, fantasy elements that I love. This is the type of series I love. I thought this series was going to be more on just straight out historical, and there wasn't going to be any fantasy at all, but I'm shocked. I really am. So at the end of chapter 5, we find out one of the villages the elves' villages are getting attacked by some force. We don't know exactly who's getting attacked, but the village is getting attacked, and so you see Toyohisa charging in. You see him charging in, and as you see, I'm guessing the rebel force that's attacking else, we don't know the exact force like I said, but you see him attacking this person's trying to talk, and Toyohisa's like, oh, you're not speaking Japanese, so I must kill you and all that. And I'm like, oh my god, he's killing someone because they can't speak Japanese. Holy shit! That just, oh my god, that's the main character. And so, wow, we got a violent main character, and we also got a good cast of characters. Nobunaga, he's definitely like one of those old characters you would see in an anime or manga that would downright be a fucking badass. Like, if we know all sorts of old people in shonen and stuff, you know, those badasses, you know, pretty much I have a feeling most likely Nobunaga is going to be a downright awesome character. I can already see it. And Nasu seems to be like a character that has probably hidden potential. It's a female character, and Nasu seems to probably have something that could be a lot darker in the future, probably has some form of dark elements in the past of Nasu's entire past, because as we find out in chapter 5, Nasu is only age 19. So, Nasu died at an early age. Let's just say these characters do die and they get another chance in another world, for instance. They do die, but like they go into a different body or something. Nasu died at an early age, so there's probably going to be some form of dark theme right there. And so I love this series. It's definitely piqued my interest. I definitely have a lot more passion for Drifters now after reading these chapters 2 through 5. And like I said, I am definitely going to be catching up now because this is a freaking amazing series after seeing it. And I recommend it completely. From what I've read, if you're into fantasy, medieval, and, you know, you love seeing, like, old-fashioned, like, Japan and stuff, and China, I'd recommend it. It's really good from so far from what I've read. But, anyways, everybody, tell me your thoughts on these, chapters of Drifters if you have already read these. And if you have yet to start this manga, like I said, I recommend reading it. So, everybody, I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.